Outside of me being a Muslim, just as a God-fearing individual, I feel like, we have a God-alienated right to be free. And once you're governed by a people or a system, you're not free at all.
But the alternative to a system is chaos.
Yes.
And if you don't have a system, then like I said, the eventual outcome will be a feral society.
Whatever it may be with this system, then I'm not free. If I can't go out and build my own home in a certain place that I find, I'm not free.
I think we built a system right now as best as we could based on who is the stronger. So like I hear people say, well, we'll just get rid of the system. Well, go ahead and try. I bet you can't. I bet you can't get rid of the system because the system itself is way too strong at this point.
I feel like America, man, we in a state, this word I want to find, man, degrading, down, we plummeted. People, this country, not as a whole, just as mankind, man, as a whole, period, we plummeted. How I feel about America, we got its good, we got its perks. But, you know what I'm saying, for overall, especially for my people, and it's not just our people, but it's for all people of Americans, that we are at the bottom of the barrel, man. America, politics, the way that they treat us, you know what I'm saying, we're being governed, we're being held down. It's not just our country, it's every country. I mean, every country to be governed, you know what I'm saying, my personal belief, you know what I'm saying, outside of me being a Muslim, just as a God-fearing individual, I feel like, we have a God-alienated right to be free. And once you're governed by a people or a system, you're not free at all. There's no way you can be free. You know what I'm saying? So, that as a whole, by itself, it would never be good. It would be manageable. It would be to be able to maintain, to be able to get through. But as far as, America and our state, man, it's horrible. It's not good at all in my eyes. I feel like from the way that we treated, from poverty, from, I can't say migration so much and the people because, this the land. This is everybody's land. This God gave us this land. God gave everybody this land. So I feel as individually as a I'm not gonna say an African American because the ancient name of my forefathers is Akabulan. That is the ancient name of Africa. So for me to be my ancestors to be colonized and be set in this country, I feel like, man, I'm against all odds. Say for like the barter system, right? The barter system is a system that allows goods and services, right? So in the ancient times, you know what I'm saying, if I was a carpenter, you know what I'm saying, as Jesus was, I would fix your house. If I was a homesteader and I raised crops, everybody has their craft, there's goods and trades. But these have been taken away from us and they're put in only the hands of certain individuals to control and to use us. Now they have monopolized the system to govern what crafts that mankind has for us to even barter and trade on our own whims, at our own time, at our own prices. So freedom to me, is God put us here on earth. So we gotta live within this spectrum. But when a man can't go to another man on his own without being taxed, taken from, exploited, and used and abused and colonized and stripped from everything that he knows or has, then there's no such thing as being free. And I gotta pay an individual something for my own hard work based on a system that you designed and that you have made to what prices, what value, whatever it may be with this system, then I'm not free. If I can't go out and build my own home in a certain place that I find, I'm not free.
I get where you're coming from. But the alternative to a system is chaos.
Yes.
And if you don't have a system, then like I said, the eventual outcome will be a feral society. And I don't think we can handle a feral society because somebody going to eventually rise to the top to take over. It's no different than in any of the animal kingdom where there's a vacancy, the stronger going to rise to the top, and you still end up with the system.
True.
It may not be what it is now, but still be a system that one man or a few men, because you can't overpower them, will take over and dominate the society. So I don't think there's any way that we can have a free society. We can have pockets of society that agree with the people that are at the head. So like if we have this colony here decides that capitalism is for them, and you're good with every facet of capitalism, you stay here. If you want to be a communist, you have that particular area, you go in that particular, you live, and the two never interact with each other because you've already decided that you don't like my system, and I don't like your system. And the ones who want chaos, eventually they're gonna wipe each other out because if we do, okay, let's just go on a primitive idea of man. Forget God for just 1 second.
Okay.
Every man has in his heart to try and be over somebody else. I don't care how many people say they want to be a subservient or they want to be friends with everybody. That will never happen because somebody gonna cross you. Somebody gonna have a viewpoint about you or about how you live that's gonna upset you to the point where, well, you shouldn't have that say. And if they try then to supersede your viewpoint about it, conflict, one of y'all gonna win. True. So then you have no real way to be fully. So then I guess if you had full freedom, I have the freedom to eradicate you. But is that really freedom for the person I eradicated? But technically it is because they had the right to fight back, but they were just weaker. So I think we built a system right now as best as we could based on who is the stronger. So like I hear people say, well, we'll just get rid of the system. Well, go ahead and try. I bet you can't. I bet you can't get rid of the system because the system itself is way too strong at this point. You can leave the system and go function somewhere else where the system isn't, but I don't think you can eradicate the system with it.
So do I hear you saying that freedom is the fact that we don't have the kind of freedom that's being spoken about is actually a good thing because if other than that, we just be living in chaos.
We would be living in chaos, but I think the freedom that people want is an illusion because the only real freedom you can have is internally. If I can't allow you to overpower me, and you can do whatever you want externally to my body, that's harmable. But you can't harm my trend of thought. You can't harm my soul. So you can do what you want to my mortal coil. I don't care. But my freedom exists up here and in here. As long as I got that, ain't nothing you can do to stop it. I can buy into a system that oppresses me, though, either by giving it more power than it's got or believing it's got more power than it's got. And I think we as a society moved into that area where we took what people say is a dominant force and we've allowed it to be dominant over us because we've given into that mindset. I remember when I was growing up, because I'm from the Caribbean originally, the crown was the driving force behind everything.
Yes.
Whatever the crown said, you better do. And if you don't do, it was public executions. So what eventually had to happen? We had to revolt. So the society as a whole revolted and they ended up getting their independence. They revolted again and ended up getting the republic out of it. So now they're completely separate from the crown. And now the crown don't have a full say. We tell them if they have a say now. And so we can do that, but we still use that system now because the system is a working system now, but we control the system itself.